long before infrastructure is built. It begins with us being able to identify, quantify, and manage risk. And that's the perspective I want to look at it from. Every resilient energy system is first a product of disciplined risk assessment, sound engineering judgment, and informed decision making. And there are two broad categories, I can put it, of risks in our industry: the technical risks and the financial risks. Of course, the technical risks include our operational integrity, asset reliability, cybersecurity, and the rest. And of course, our financial include commodity price, volatility, investment uncertainties, and the rest. Building resilient energy systems requires that we identify, quantify, and proactively manage both categories of risks before they become crises. The organizations that will lead tomorrow will not necessarily be those with largest assets, but those that anticipate risk better, adapt faster, and recover stronger. Many of the leaders here that have gone to business schools will know that the case studies, you see so many of them where they talk about people that refuse to identify the risks or the exposures and address them. So to achieve this, you find that companies that anticipate risk better, adapt faster, and recover stronger are the ones that will survive. Maybe not the ones that have the largest assets. To achieve this, I want us to look at three strategic priorities. The first is intelligent risk assessments and technology. So through digital technologies, artificial intelligence, and such like, we can identify vulnerabilities early, we can model future scenarios, and build systems that are resilient by design rather than by response. I was in a forum once and they talked about digital twins, and it blew my mind really, because there's a lot of talk about digital twins, even in my company. And then, everybody's excited about it, but we didn't really capture it as we wanted to, the way I looked at it. Until the person said that their own digital twin was to reduce the light usage or power usage on their platform by 60%. So they do a 3D model, a digital twin of the platform, and it's aligned with security cameras that are tagged to AI. And once the room notices that nobody is there for like 15 minutes, all the lights switch off. Value creation, strategic. So those are the things we need to look at. Second, we have resilient institutions and collaborative governance. So what we need to do is to make sure that there are stable policies, there are regulatory certainties, and effective collaboration among government operators, service companies, and academia, as well as professional bodies such as SP, which are essential for managing both today's challenges. I see a lot of people, when they come for the SP conference, they say there's so much rich content in it. Because we try to do that and we boast about it. The idea is that by the time you go through the panel session, by the time you go through our technical papers and such like, you come out enriched and come out with ideas that can help you transform your company. I always say it's that whenever I go for conferences and things like that, I always have my PAP, I call it personal action plan. That once I go back, I'm going to use it to create value and do this and do that. And I'm telling you, I've saved millions of dollars in my office because of that. Millions. The third is decision excellence. The quality of an energy system is ultimately determined by the quality of challenge assumptions, manage uncertainty, and make timely, risk-informed decisions. In an increasingly complex energy landscape, our competitive advantage will not simply be the technology we deploy, but the quality of decisions we make. Think about it. As NPRC regulators approved just recently so many fields. There's more competition. Who is going to be resilient is the one that will stand up at the top. So for Nigeria, resilience also means maximizing the value of our abundant oil and gas resources while accelerating gas development, strengthening local content, embracing innovation, and ensuring that energy security and sustainability advance together. I'm confident that our distinguished panelists will enrich this conversation with practical insights on how we can better anticipate risk, strengthen our systems, and position Nigeria's energy industry for sustained success. So I warmly welcome you all even to this highly engaging panel session. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Engineer Francis Moche, setting the tone for us on building resilient energy systems in a rapidly evolving landscape in a highly competitive world of the oil and gas industry. It is only the resilient that would stand at the top to excel in both production and exploration. So thank you. Give him another round of applause. Onwards now to our sponsor's remark. We will take first off from the Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, the Deputy Director, Strategic Research and Deal Origination of the Midstream and Downstream Gas Intervention Fund. Please welcome Engineer Duruji Elvis.
Good morning. The Chairman, SPA, Nigerian Council, Engineer Francis, the representatives of NUPRC and other government agencies, distinguished industry and academic leaders, CEOs and MDs, the press, the SPA BOT members, ladies and gentlemen. I will be standing here on behalf of my boss, the Authority Chief and Executive of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, Malam Rabiu Abdullahi Umar, and the entire staff of
let's just imagine the ripple effect that will have. I think it's something for us to think about as an industry. On collaborative growth. For us in Aradel, we started that journey many years ago. Our acquisition of OML 34 in 2012, which became ND Western Limited, was made possible through partnership with Walter Smith, Petroman Oil Limited, First EMP, and Petrolink Group. And that same group has birthed what we now know today as Renaissance. So that is collaboration delivering growth. Collaboration is part of our commercial strategy. And as an industry pioneer, we partner with fellow EMP companies, leveraging our infrastructure to provide access to monetize molecules. That same spirit of collaboration shapes how we engage with our host communities, the regulators, business partners, and industry platforms such as the SPA. Finally, on resilience, if there is one quality that defines Aradel, our journey over the past many years, it is resilience. It's one of our core values, and it's deeply embedded in our culture. We have navigated the global oil price volatility, regulatory change, security challenges, currency fluctuations, and the global pandemic. For us, resilience is more than the ability to withstand these challenges. It's the ability to emerge stronger from them, also enabled by collaboration. So resilience is not you doing it alone. It's also about working together with others so that you can stand and come out better. Our integrated gas business model, spanning from upstream gas production and also including our refining, for example, and our infrastructure, coupled with our commitment to innovation, and most importantly, our dedication to our people who continue to find solutions, deliver results, and seize opportunities in an ever-changing operating environment, forms the bedrock of our resilience. As our MD CEO, Mr. Adegbite Falade, mentioned in our recent 31st AGM, Aradel's story is one of more than 3 decades of sustained growth and transformation, demonstrating what is possible through resilience, vision, and disciplined execution. So on behalf of Aradel Holdings PLC, I would want to wish everyone a productive and impactful remainder of this SPE conference. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, do we know of companies, Nigerian independent companies that started a couple of years ago and no longer exist? Yes, we do. And Aradel Holdings is one of the pioneer independent companies that began business as indigenous. And they are still here and continuing into many years into the future. I think they deserve a better round of applause. When he mentioned that, I thought we should have given them a resounding applause. They really deserve it. Thank you. Thank you very much, the General Manager, Commercial and Director, Aradel Gas, Mr. Olariwaju Daramola. And moving on from that, we go over now to the Executive Vice President and Chief Business Officer for Ryder Scott. Please welcome Tosin Famurewa.
Welcome you to panel session 2 and thank SPE Nigeria for the opportunity to sponsor this session. It's indeed a privilege for me to be here, not only representing Ryder Scott, but also participating as one of today's panelists. I want to thank the conference organizers, my fellow discussants, and each one of you for your commitment to advancing our industry. Yes, I said that because your presence here is evidence of that. the quality of participation that I've seen at this conference since Saturday actually reflects the resilience, the grit, and the determination that continue to define Nigeria's energy sector. This panel's theme, as you can see up there, well, it's gone now, building systems in a rapidly evolving landscape, reflects both the opportunities and the challenges before our industry. What I like to say is two sides of the same coin. We are operating in an environment of unprecedented change. Commodity price volatility, investor expectations, the energy transition, advances in AI and digital technologies, and increasing demands for sustainability are transforming how we develop, how we discover, develop, and manage our energy resources. Yet, amidst all this change, one thing remains constant. Good decisions begin with good data, sound technical analysis, and trusted expertise. For about 100 years, yes, a century, Ryder Scott has had the privilege of helping companies, governments, financial institutions, and investors around the globe to make informed decisions about their energy assets. From reserves and resource evaluations to reservoir engineering, geoscience, strategic advisory services. At over 200 projects a year, our role has always been the same: to provide independent, objective, trusted, and technically rigorous guidance. Here in Nigeria, we have been fortunate to work alongside NNPC, Chevron, Shell, Mobil, ENI, CNOC, Seplat, FAMFA, Green Energy, Corn Oil, Shoreline, SIPCO, and just to name a few, a lot of the operators here, and also investors and banks, supporting their reserve certification, their asset development, financing, acquisitions, divestitures, strategic planning, and also their management advisory services. We are optimistic and actually quite bullish about Nigeria's tremendous resource base and the opportunities that lie ahead. As our industry evolves, resilience will not come from technology alone. It would come from innovation, collaboration, disciplined investment, effective policy, and most importantly, you, talented people who are willing to challenge conventional thinking and ask the right questions. This is why sessions like this are so valuable. They bring together diverse perspectives from operators, service companies, regulators, and technical experts to discuss practical solutions to the challenges we all face. So as I transition from these opening remarks to my role as a panelist, I look forward to exchanging ideas with the other members of the panel, learning from their perspectives as well. The challenges facing our industry are too complex for any one individual or any one organization for that matter to solve alone. But through knowledge sharing and collaboration, we can collectively build a stronger and more resilient energy sector. At Ryder Scott, we believe that the future of energy is not simply about producing more hydrocarbons. It's about producing them more efficiently, more responsibly, and with greater transparency and accountability. Independent technical evaluation and internationally recognized standards, such as the SPE PRMS framework, will continue to play an important role in building investor confidence and unlocking capital for future development. Thank you once again, SPE Nigeria, for organizing another outstanding NACE. Thank you in advance to the moderator and also my co-panelists. Thank you all for your attention and participation.
All right. So before I call our final sponsor, at 1:30 today, we would have a career fair in this room. I'm sure every leader or professional in this room has attended a conference where a young professional or a student member asked you the question, how can I get a job in this industry? Has anybody ever asked you that before? I'm sure they have. So that is why SPE has thrown in the career fair at 1:30. But for now, let's pause that thought and return to where we are, panel session 2, and welcome our next sponsor. And this time we're going to Business Development Manager for SNL Technology. Welcome, Akingbemi Akiode.
A pleasant morning to everyone here present. The host and chairman of the Spe Nigerian Council, Engineer Francis Nwache, FNSE, the representative of the Commission, Chief Executive, Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory, NUPRC, distinguished members of the SPE, Nigeria Council Executive Committee, our distinguished panelists, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to everyone. On behalf of everyone at SNL Technology, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to this important panel session and to thank the SPE Nigerian Council for the opportunity to support as a platinum sponsor. The Spe Naice has over the years established itself as one of Africa's foremost platforms for technical excellence, knowledge exchange, and industry collaboration. We are proud to partner with the SPE in supporting conversations that bring together industry leaders and to address the opportunities and challenges shaping the future of Nigeria's energy sector. The theme of today's discussion, building resilient energy systems in a rapidly evolving landscape, is both timely and highly relevant. Across the global energy industry, organizations are navigating rapid technological advancements, evolving regulatory expectation, increasing demands for operational efficiency, and the need to strengthen energy security. At the same time, Nigeria continues to pursue ambitious production and development objectives that require resilient, reliable, and efficient energy system. In this environment, resilience is no longer simply about responding to disruptions. It is about proactively designing, operating, and maintaining systems that are safe, reliable, efficient, adaptable, and capable of sustaining performance in an increasingly dynamic landscape. At SNL Technology, we believe resilient energy systems are built on the foundation of engineering excellence, innovation, and trusted collaboration. Through our specialized engineering solutions, high integrity fluid system technologies, and digital solutions that enhance operational visibility and asset performance, we remain committed to supporting our customers in achieving safer, more efficient, and more reliable operations. However, no single organization can build resilience alone. It requires sustained collaboration among operators, regulators, technology providers, academia, and professional institutions such as the SPE. Forums like this provide an invaluable opportunity to exchange ideas, challenge perspectives, and collectively shape the future of our industry. As we begin today's discussion, we look forward to hearing the insights of our distinguished panelists and to a rich conversation that will inspire practical solutions for strengthening Nigeria's energy system and advancing our industry's long-term competitiveness. Once again, I would like to thank the SPE Nigeria Council for this opportunity, our distinguished speakers and panelists for sharing their expertise, and every one of you for being part of this important conversation. On behalf of SNL Technology, I wish you all a productive, insightful, and an engaging session. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Akingbemi Akiode is the Business Development Manager for SNL Technology, one of our sponsors. Please give him a round of applause. Now, another sponsor is ESSO. They have declined to make any comments, but would thank them. Please give them a round of applause, however. Thank you very much. We say a big thank you to all of our sponsors. Before we get to the keynote and then the panel, during the panel, we will display a QR code And that QR code, if you scan the code, it will take you to a portal where you can interact with our panelists. We will not be passing the microphone around for questions. So send your questions as soon as the QR code comes on the screen during the panel. That way you can interact with our panelist and moderator. Now, part of building resilient energy systems will, of course, be able to stay transparent, stay efficient, and do your business devoid of any kind of corruption or, if you like, gray areas. And that is what our regulator has demonstrated in the recent bid round. 37 licenses went out for oil blocks across mature and frontier basins, and they have shown efficiency, they have shown transparency, and the CCE was here on Monday to speak to us, but she's not able to join us again. However, the Executive Commissioner in charge of development and production has joined us. Please welcome Engineer Eronose Amadasu, FNSE.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let me stand on the existing protocol that will be defined. But I want to welcome the SP President. I also want to welcome the board's BOT of SP that will be giving all the necessary guidance and advice. And let me also welcome the organizer of this conference, ably led by the chairman, my brother Francis, industry leaders, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here this morning to represent my CCE. She sent her message and her greetings, so I'll be delivering her message this morning. The chairman and the executive council of the Society of Petroleum Engineers, Nigeria Council, distinguished leaders of government institutions, captains of the industry, representative of international indigenous operating companies, investors, service providers, gentlemen of the press, members of academia, students, ladies and gentlemen, good morning once again. I am deeply honored to join you at NICE 2026 and to share reflections on a subject that has become central to the future of nations, economics, and societies worldwide. Building resilient energy systems in a rapidly evolving landscape under the broader conference theme, Thriving in Evolving Global Energy Landscape, Collaborative Growth and Resilience. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we gather at a defining moment when global energy landscape is being reshaped by geopolitics, geopolitical tensions, technological disruption, climate imperatives, changing investment partners, supply chain vulnerability, the rapid rise of artificial intelligence, and growing energy demand. Despite remarkable progress in clean energy, the world will continue to rely on oil and gas for decades to come. According to BP's Energy Outlook 2025, oil and natural gas are expected to supply about 51% of global energy by 2050, while the International Energy Agency, IAE, projects that global oil demand will remain above 104 million barrels per day in the near term. In Africa, energy demand is expected to grow by 30% by 2040. Meeting these demands will require record investments. The IE estimates global energy investment will reach 3.4 trillion US dollar in 2026, including about 700 billion in oil and gas. At the same time, energy has become a strategic geopolitical asset, with LNG, major shipping routes, and critical minerals playing an increasingly important role in global energy security. This reality clearly shows that the challenge is no longer simply producing more energy, but building resilient energy systems that can withstand geopolitical shocks, market vulnerability, and climate risk while continuing to deliver reliable, affordable, and secured energy. This requires sustained investment, resilient infrastructure, technological innovation, effective institution, and strong collaboration. Ultimately, the future will favor not the nation with the largest resources, but those that will build the most resilient energy system. Nigeria is exceptionally well positioned to thrive in the evolving global energy landscape. Our country holds approximately 37.01 billion barrels of crude oil and condensate reserve and 215.19 trillion cubic feet of proven natural gas reserves. Importantly, over 53% of our natural gas reserves are non-associated gas, providing a reliable foundation for long-term domestic supply, industrial development, and exports. Beyond hydrocarbon, Nigeria is really endowed with abundant solar, hydro, wind, and biomass resources, as well as critical minerals that will support the growing clean energy economy. Equally important is our greatest natural assets, our people. With a population of over 240 million, of which more than 70% are under the age of 35, Nigeria possesses one of the world's largest and the most dynamic youthful workforces. Yet, natural and human resources alone do not create prosperity. Prosperity is created when resources are transformed into investments, investment into production, and sustainable growth, economic growth. The challenge before us is therefore not resources availability, but resources monetization and value creation. Building a resilient energy system begins with a resilient upstream sector. Nigeria has set one of the African most ambiguous production growth targets to increase crude oil and condensate production from the current level of about 1.8 million barrels per day to 2 million barrels by 2027. While pursuing a longer-term aspiration of 3 million per day, achieving this will require longer security, sustained investment, improved asset stewardship, faster project execution, and greater operational efficiency across the industry. Nigeria is entering a new phase of growth with rapidly expanding refining capacity, positioning the country as a major refining and petroleum products export hub for Africa. This remarkable progress, however, brings a new responsibility. As Nigeria refining capacity expands, upstream production must grow even faster to ensure a reliable supply of crude oil. We must avoid a situation where expanding refinery capacity outpaces upstream production, forcing a rich resource nation with about 37 billion barrels of crude or proven oil reserves to import crude to feed its own refineries. Such a scenario will weaken the very energy resilience that we are working to build. Meeting this challenge requires accelerated upstream investment and faster project delivery. This means expanding licensing opportunities, advancing deepwater development, optimizing brownfield assets, reactivating idle wells, increasing infill drilling, promoting infrastructure-led tieback development, expanding gas infrastructure, and successfully implementing the project 1 million barrels initiative. So thanks again for the support and the collaboration we have been receiving from the industry in driving this initiative. Together, these initiatives will unlock new production, improve efficiency, and strengthen the resilience of Nigeria's upstream sector. The Commission is therefore fully prepared to support the industry to achieve this. The Commission, under the watch of my boss, Mrs. Eison Orishameiwa, has taken the initiative to revamp guidelines and regulations, including allowing for commingling, heavy crude developments, developing framework for cluster asset developments, working with stakeholders for market-determined gas supply optimization through defined process and structure for gas swap and streamlining the process for permits and approval. Last week, we had an industry meeting on this gas swap. We know that we need to increase and improve on our gas delivery obligation. We are also aware that some of our assets don't have that infrastructure, so we are working this model to see that we still meet up and grow domestic gas supply in the sector. On the gas front, Nigeria currently produces about 8.8 billion cubic feet of gas per day and aim to exceed 12 billion cubic feet per day by 2030. As demand continues to outpace supply across domestic, regional, and export markets, the resulting supply gap presents one of the most attractive investment opportunities in our energy sector. To unlock this opportunity, the Commission is working with industry partners to advance our 20 strategic gas projects expected to deliver more than 3 billion cubic feet of additional gas per day, complemented by the Nigerian Gas Flare Commercialization Program and LNG Train 7, together expanding gas supply, commercializing gas flare, and increasing Nigeria's LNG capacity from 20 million to 30 million tons per annum. Together, these initiatives will strengthen energy resilience by unlocking investments, embracing energy security, creating jobs, reducing emissions, and driving sustainable economic growth. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, resilient energy systems are built also on strong institutions and sound policies. Recognizing this, Nigeria has implemented the far-reaching reform through the Petroleum Industry Act, PIA 2021, complemented by presidential executive orders and progressive regulatory measures that have strengthened fiscal responsibilities, fiscal competitiveness, improved regulatory transparency, and restore investors' confidence. The results are evidence. Nigeria crude oil and condensate production has increased from about 1.4 million barrels per day in 2024 to around 1.8 million barrels per day today. Industry activities has continued to gain momentum, with active drilling rigs growing from just 8 in 2021 to 46 in 2025 and averaging 38 so far in 2026. Since 2024, Nigeria upstream sector has recorded over $57 billion in final investment decision, FIDs, and field development plans approval, including 22 major offshore projects executed between 2026 to be executed between 2026 and 2030, with an estimated investment potential of $30 to $50 billion. Beyond increasing production, this investment creates jobs, expand infrastructure, strengthen energy security, and reinforce Nigeria's position as a leading global system investment destination. Beyond developing our proven reserves, Nigeria is building a resilient energy future by maintaining a strong pipeline for exploration opportunities that will sustain long-term growth and energy security. We have transformed the way upstream opportunities are brought to the market through a transparent, predictable, and investment-centric licensing regime that provides the certainty and confidence needed to attract long-term investments. Since 2022, successive licensing rounds have opened access to some of Nigeria's most prospective oil and gas acreages. Most recently, the 2025 licensing round concluded with 31 companies emerging successful bidders for 37 oil and gas blocks after progressing through a robust, data-driven, and technology-enabled evaluation process. By providing high-quality subsurface data, enhancing transparency, and reducing technical uncertainty, the process has strengthened investors' confidence, accelerated project maturation, and improve the prospects for timely field development. With preparations already on the way for 2026 bid round, licensing round, Nigeria is demonstrating that investment certainty is no longer an aspiration. It is becoming an enduring feature of our regulatory framework. Ultimately, this is about much more than awarding licenses. It is about building resilience into the future of Nigeria's energy sector. A predictable licensing program ensures a continuous cycle of exploration, new discovery, reserves replacement, production growth, creating the long-term resource pipeline required to support energy security, economic development, and sustainable prosperity for generations to come. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a resilient energy system depends also on having the infrastructure to process, transport, and deliver them safely and efficiently. Africa has no shortage of energy resources. The real challenge is shortage of pipelines, gas processing plants, and other infrastructure needed to turn these resources into economic value. This challenge also presents a major opportunity for investors to partner with governments and industry in developing the infrastructure that will unlock new production, create jobs, and drive economic growth. So you don't need to own a block before you put the infrastructure. The law has also allowed you as an investor to come and put infrastructure, pipeline, build pipeline for those that own blocks to connect, and then you get your value. In Nigeria, we are addressing this through infrastructure-led development strategy. We are expanding gas gathering system, processing facilities, pipeline and export infrastructure while promoting shared facilities, open access, third-party access, and feed tieback to reduce costs, speed up project delivery, maximize the use of existing infrastructure, and help bring stranded oil and gas resources into production. However, infrastructure alone cannot deliver resilience. It must be supported by a safe and secure operating environment. Through stronger collaboration among governments, security agencies, operators, host communities, and private partners, we are improving the protection of critical energy assets. The host community development trust established under the PIA has also strengthened this effort by giving host communities a direct stake in the sources of petroleum operations. Together, infrastructure development, stronger security, and production optimization are making Nigeria's upstream sector more resilient. The future of energy industry will be increasingly data-driven technologies such as AI, predictive analytics, digital twin, automation, and satellite monitoring are transforming the industry by improving production efficiency, reducing downtime, strengthening security, lowering emission, and enabling smarter decision-making. It is therefore imperative for operators, service companies, regulators alike to embrace these technologies, strengthen their digital capability, and foster innovation to build a smarter, more resilient, and globally competitive energy industry. Ultimately, the greatest strength of any energy system is not in its infrastructure or technology. It is its people, you and I. As our industry evolves, the workforce must combine traditional engineering expertise with new skills in artificial intelligence, data analytics, cybersecurity, carbon management, and digital technologies. Nigeria's young and talented population gives us a unique demographic advantage. By investing in skills, innovation, and professional excellence, we can build the workforce that will design, operate, and protect, and transform the resilient energy system needed to power our energy future. Ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, the future will be determined not by nations with the greatest energy reserves, but by those that demonstrate vision, foster strategic partnerships, and develop robust institutions to utilize these resources responsibly and sustainably. Nigeria possesses the necessary attributes. We have substantial resources, skilled talents, ongoing reforms, and a clear commitment to establish an energy sector that is resilient, competitive, and globally significant. Our mandate is straightforward: to convert our considerable potential into sustainable progress by attracting investments, accelerating development, embracing innovation, strengthening collaboration, and managing our resources responsibly. Through these efforts, we can build resilient energy system that support industrial growth, generate employment, enhance energy security, drive economic sustainability, and position Nigeria to continue to contribute meaningfully to the evolution of global energy sector. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your attention.
Thank you very much, Engineer Eronose Amadasu, FNSE, Executive Commissioner in charge of Development and Production for NUPRC on behalf of the CCE. And my own mandate is very simple: to invite the panel to take their seat. Let's begin with the chairman of the Petroleum Technology Association of Nigeria. Welcome, Engineer Wole Ogunsoya, FNSE, who is also the CEO and founder of Geotech. That one over there. The first one, though, Geoplex Geotech. That one to the far right. Right there, sir. Thank you, sir. Joining him, let's welcome Chief Executive Officer of Seplat Energy PLC. Welcome, Engineer Effiong FNSE. You're welcome. Managing Director of Aradel Holdings, Mr. Engineer Adebite Falade, FNSE as well. Representing him is the GM Commercial. Please welcome Olarewaju Daramola. Executive Vice President, Chief Business Officer is here for Ryder Scott. Welcome, Tosin Famurewa. Also here is Group Chief Operating Officer, Pan Ocean and the New Cross Companies. Welcome, Chief Olajide Ishola. You're welcome. Also on this panel is the Chief Executive Officer of SNL Tech. Welcome, Ladi Shoyombo. And to ask the resilient questions to build the energy systems is our African Regional Director. Please welcome Dr. Riversing Opong.
The question as it is. I love giving time for moderation, getting feedback from the audience. So I'll do well to do a 15 minutes Q&A. There is going to be a QR code for you to scan your questions, direct the question to who you want to answer, and it's very short. I'm not going to read essays on that. If you write an essay, I'm not going to read it. Direct your question, and then we are good to go. So on that note, let me start with my own chairman. So for those who don't know, I'm also a PETAN member from afar, and that's my chairman sitting right there. So that's something you should know. So Chairman Wale, so I'll ask you the first question. I know that you can answer it, that's what I'm asking you. If you avoid answering it, I'm going to ask again. You know how we do it. So, PETAN member organization, just as SPE, you are mostly dealing with the service companies, whereas SPE is dealing with the members as individual. We've seen all the investments your members have made across Nigeria and out of Nigeria. I meet some of your members in Namibia. I meet some of your members in Uganda and even Angola. So, can you tell us, as a chairman of PETAN, what strategies are you putting in place for your members to attract investment, at the same time delivering state of an act? Let me also mention that you are the chairman for ALCO, which I'm a member of, representing Ghana. So how are you combining these two very important organizations to drive adaptability to local content, local manufacturing companies, local service companies in the status quo?
Yeah, Dr. Riverson, thank you very much. My panelist members, ladies and gentlemen, we were in Houston at the OTC, and we had an OEM forum organized with the NCDMD. And at that forum in PETAN, we estimated that for Nigeria to produce 3 million barrels per day, which is our target, we need to invest $6 billion in equipment assets. The equipment that we're going to use to nearly double the oil production in Nigeria, we don't have them today. We have very little capacity in some areas. We lack capacity in so many equipment areas, including rigs in the swamp and jackup. So we need about $6 billion investment between now and 2030. I think that's the target. I think it's a tall order. So what are we doing in PETAN to do this? Number one, it's important for us to understand what PETAN is all about. You know, this is an organization we founded 32 years ago. Some of our forebearers are sitting here. 32 years ago, even as far as 20 years ago, most of the services that have been provided in this country were done by multinational companies, up to 90% of that. So we look at it and say, look, a country growing in population, huge youth population in Nigeria and Africa, probably an average age of an African is about 26 years old. We cannot afford to outsource our work. And we must derive all of the value chains of oil and gas, from shooting seismic, drilling the well, producing the wells, taking it to midstream and downstream to the molecules. We need that. There is no other catalyst for this country to improve economically without us being there throughout the value chain of oil and gas production in Nigeria. So that's what we did in PETAN. Today we're about 120 member companies. Many of our member companies are generating hundreds of millions of dollars that are staying in this country and in Africa. And we've created more than 1,000 jobs than all the multinational companies in this country combined. So it's important that we see this picture clearly, that we're there with the backbone of the industry. So in terms of how are we going to fund this $6 billion, there are a number of things we're doing. We're partnering with a lot of the E&P companies. Just about a month ago, thanks to Shell, they brought in about 12, 13 banks. and they're telling banks and say, look, if Shell gives a job to any indigenous company, not just Petamon members, the fund that you need to buy those equipments, we want you, to provide it for them. We guarantee you the revenue will be domiciled in your bank. Another thing we're doing, we all know we have the NCDMB with funds placed in BOI for us to have access to those funding to buy the equipment I'm talking about, say up to $6 billion in the next 4 or 5 years. So this fund, we met with the Presidential Task Force just last week. They invited Pet and I said, look, the president is looking at how to optimize the value chain I've defined just now. What can we contribute to that? So we told them, look, you need to dedicate certain fund within NCDMB to indigenous companies, not just Petan member. The chairman of this task force, Mr. Fola Adeola, I think many of us would know him as a seasoned banker, is advocating with Petan to set up the Nigeria Energy Bank. If this country is going to be serious for us to create that volume that we're looking up, create it along the value chain, not just outsourcing those work. In fact, today, let's be honest with ourselves. You cannot find expatriates to come to this place and do the job. When we joined the industry, engineers were recruited in Oxford, in whichever universities you have in the Western world. Today, they don't want to do this job. Most of them wants to work in the IT companies. So the opportunity is there for us as Nigerians to dominate this industry, not just in Africa, but also across the world. Rivers, in the last thing I would say, you were asking that question. We have an association that we call African Local Content Association. What we are doing in that, we just formed it 1 year ago. We are bringing all of our African brothers together. The reason for that is the value chain that we want to create, not just for Nigeria, but across the continent. Any GDP that resides in any parts of Africa is going to alleviate energy policy, poverty, rather, which we all know Africa is behind when you look at the energy consumption, and that translates to health, translates to life expectancy, and all of the human metrics that you measure to have quality life. So we set this association up. We are collaborating with our brothers in Ghana, in Angola, in everywhere, and say, look, if the resources is in Africa, if the capacity is anywhere in Africa, we will tap into that. Just of recent, we signed an agreement with Gabon. Today, Petan and Gabon Local Content Association are looking for opportunities between the two countries. We're exploring the same opportunity in Angola to ensure that these requirements to improve energy consumption and availability in Africa, we do everything that we can do about it. Thank you very much.
Right. I will have a follow-up question for you on the topic of AI. You quickly mentioned that the Western world now looking at AI, but it's so clear that we cannot do without AI. So I'm going to come back to you when I'm done with my set of round questions. I'm happy to hear that you've been able to employ thousands of engineers who are all SPE members, So we are proud of you. Please recruit more so that we can have our SPE also grow through Petan. So I come to my very own in-law, Effion. I've moderated you for many, many times. I know you personally, so I know what you carry. If you don't answer the question right, I won't give you a plaque today. So I wanted to share with us today, you moving now to Seplat as a tier rubber, Land Cruiser, V8, CEO. I know your capacity, I know what you've done. In few words, tell us how do you intend to bring a very efficient system in Seplat, reducing cost? When we talk about a field being economically feasible, it's not the fact that there's no oil to produce. It's about how economically you're going to produce those molecules. So what strategy do you have? I know you just started the work, but openly share with us and then let's see if we can correct you somewhere, some way, somehow.
All right. Design.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good morning, everybody. Good morning, SPE again. Thank you very much. Good morning, President. Yesterday I had a chat with her. First time in Nigeria. I hope the cultural shock is not too much. So thanks my in-law, and thanks my fellow panel members. I think for CEPLAT, again, if I just want to share a few ideas and thoughts here in terms of best practices. Again, it's not about me, it's not Thierry, but I think CEPLAT has been there for 16 years. It's about learning. We're still learning, I'm still learning. But in terms of cost, because cost is a big problem for us in Nigeria. We're not from a global cost benchmark point of view, we're not competitive, and we understand all the issues. But I can share a few things which we're doing at CEPLAT, bringing in all the experience we've had across the organization. We've got a lot of people from across. Uche is here, worked Shell, worked Exxon. We've got a lot of experience. So it's not about me, it's about the team. Yeah. It's about the organization, and it's about the capability. But what we see play out for independents, and we need to explain this a bit differently. Independents are different from IOCs. Right. So we'll buy all these very old assets. Some of them are 60, 70 years old, older than, I'm sure, almost everybody on this panel. And that means that the approach and the strategy you'll then need to adopt is different from when you're looking at the green field. But what we learned in CEPLAT, or my experience so far, which also applies to a lot of other assets, number one, you must get asset integrity right. Because these assets are very, very old. Some have obsolescence. When I joined CEPLAT, I remember in Oben, we had ENSCO pumps that are like 50 years old. We've changed those pumps now to NOV pumps. So number one is getting asset integrity right. Number two is fixing obsolescence. Number three is life extension. You must work on life extension. And once you've done all that, then you then have to tackle your availability and reliability issue. Most production facilities are driven by compressors, pumps, and turbines. Right. Each time a turbine goes down, it means power is off. Each time a compressor goes down, it means you cannot export or pump compressed gas, right? So you must get your critical equipment uptime to be about 95% top quartile. That's what you call top quartile performance. So 95% of the time, those equipments are running. When you do all that, then you drive down your unscheduled deferment. The next one is WRFM. So WRFM is a concept which I think Shell started about 20, 30 years ago. It's about following your oil or gas molecules from reservoir down to the export. So you must understand your reservoir capacity, your well capacity, flow lines, surface facilities in what you call the limit diagram. Once you juxtapose all that together, you then can figure out what your integrated production system capacity is, and that gives you a price on how you want to mass production. So understanding your asset, WRFM is a very key one. What then do we do? Begin to debottleneck the asset. We then look at how can we now drive costs. For example, into dehydration. In the past, we all pump water to the terminal to burn your avocados, paying $46 per barrel of water. Now we're now doing in-situ dehydration. We can inject the water in the reservoir, so you take out that cost. In 2018, when I joined CEPLAT, I remember if we're going to be sending water to avocados or Bonnie, it will cost about $1 billion over a 10 years time. So we have to spend a lot of money to do dehydration so we can inject water. What are the other quick ones you can think about? End of routine flares. So we stop flaring onshore now. So we're making money from that flare as against paying penalty. It's another way you can save costs. And the last few thoughts around, got to build redundancy into the evacuation route. You know very well in the Shell days, they all built the entire ecosystem from reservoir to the export. But now when we buy assets, you only own a part of that ecosystem. So we started building redundancy into our export route. Now we build tanks at our flow station so you can store some oil production when the export line is down. So when it comes back up, you then go into batch mode. That way you're driving costs of your business. The last one we also see is that in terms of collaboration with other operators, things around logistics, what can we share, spares, what can we share, have relationship with OEMs, because there are some aspects that are building capacity, but you still rely on OEMs. System, whereas the DCS is OEM centric. So we have a lot of contract with OEMs to provide those kind of high need support. O&M services nowadays, you don't have to staff to be doing basic preventive maintenance. You can outsource this to Nigerian vendors, and that way you can drive. And finally, what we also see play out is, as you produce all this, as you start dropping your volumes, right? At some point, you got to have and begin to fresh resource base. So doing the self-plat now, having explored fields for almost 16 years, we're now taking seismic. We're going to be doing, you heard Renaissance announce energy that it discovered 100 million barrels. So we're going to go to that space now to say, get seismic, do exploration, begin to get some fresh volume. That way you then drive up production and try to drive down costs.
I was actually going to ask you, are you looking at getting fresh areas to explore and own it instead of buying assets?
So that's always forget that, okay, all this require you process production. At some point, you're out of looking at assets to buy additional assets. Those. We're also tolling because we have process capacity. So if there are stranded assets around in Oben, we're now engaging other operators who have facilities and they can bring their gas to Oben, we can process and they pay a toll. Nice. That's a way of also helping others try and unlock potential. You need a reservoir to really understand the subsurface. It's not about finance. Finance has a role to play. You can ask a bunch of, right? If people don't understand your subsurface, your wells, your facility, and that's where SPE then comes in. We need seasoned petroleum engineers to really help us understand your subsurface and the facilities. And then finance guys are going to raise money, raise debts. Yeah. And that's how we drive down costs and drive efficiency.
Thank you so much. Please, you deserve a plaque. I'll give you a plaque. I wrote two things down. Everything you spoke about boils down to engineering and operations. Your engineering and operations right, you're going to be able to apparently produce virtually at a lower cost. Thank you so much. I'll tell the same question to you, Aradel, representing my good friend Falade, Mr. Larry. Similar question, you know, you're operating onshore, I'm sure. Operating onshore in than operating onshore in Nigeria. Aside whatever we know, talk about, we are in public space. Operation-wise, how is Aradel in the same manner trying to maximize costs and also efficiently? Thank you.
Okay. And first and foremost, I'll say it's a privilege to be here. We sit here today, we stand on the shoulders of experts who have trained us, who have developed us, who have paved the way for us to be here today. And this morning, having the opportunity to meet Mr. Egbert more, I was rare. So I just want to acknowledge the great things your generation has given us as an industry. And we say we are proud of what you did, and I hope you are proud of what we're trying to do in the industry now. So when I come to saving cost, making sure we're efficient, for us at Aradel, we talk about sustainable operational excellence. Operational excellence. And let me explain. Because when we think about operational excellence, which underpins efficiency, reduce costs, it's an ecosystem. And I like what FP has about the limit diagram, the IPSC, those are fundamental, they're core. But for us, we look at it way before the IPSC. It's from the people. We pay deliberate attention to growing the right set of people with the right mindset that have a safety culture and understand what it means to deliver value, not just to turn valves. In the course of the last 3 years, we've recruited 2 cohorts of graduates and across the gas value chain. And we're proud to mention that we see them operating our assets across the entire gamut of the assets and the operations. So that's number one. The people, It's the foundation of everything for us. Secondly is the communities, because as much as we can try to handle the assets, when we don't have access to these assets, then our targets become, a fallacy. So what we have done over the years, and we're proud to mention that, is that we've paid and we've included our communities as part of our sustainable operational excellence. And what does it mean? What that means is that our success is tied to the communities. And that model that we have evolved over the years is what is enshrined in the PIA today, the Host Community Development Trust. We started it and we continue to operate it. And I can tell you, in the more than 20 years that we've operated, we've never had a single day where our communities shut down our operations. So to me, that gives a good bedrock for operational excellence. The third thing in terms of operational excellence is the environment. And we operate in a very unique place when we look at our core operations at Owele. We have integrated, we have upstream production, we have a midstream gas plant, we have upstream, all coexisting in one single location. And guess what? That entire system needs to breathe. And what do I mean breathe? It needs to evacuate what it produces. And for us, something as simple as the road, making sure that the road is good, is part of our operational excellence. So we invest a lot in making sure our road is fixed. And I want to mention this, that what the federal government is doing, paying attention to infrastructure for the nation, is the right thing, and we commend the government for that. And I think the federal government needs to deepen that. Part of the insights I had, from the opening remarks I made, going to Benin, around Benin, that industrial complex, one major issue they have is the road. The road is bad. So for us, the environment, in quotes, the road. Fourth thing is the regulations, because I look at our regulators in the room. As fast as we want to go, we need the license to operate. And it would interest people to know that with the advent of the PIA, the number of regulations we need to keep to comply with has more than tripled, quadrupled, with very, very clear consequences. And so for us as Aradel, we realize that it's not something we can solve ourselves. So we walk through the IPPG to make sure that we can all those obligations, all those requirements into a data-driven solution that helps us to be on top of the game with regulatory compliance. Now you see, all that I've said has nothing to do yet with turning the valves. So all that is the front loading to operational excellence. All we come to the core issue of making sure that the designs, the implementation, the construction goes where pattern, because we get a lot of support from pattern members in terms of equipment manufacturing. All that for our operational excellence, and then it ends up in actual operating. Now, please, before I drop. Now, how that comes together is now around with focused meetings across all these dimensions virtually every week. Number two, we have clear accountability every week across all these domains, sitting in an integrated fashion. Measure, because everything around AI is underpinned by having the right data to be able to make predictions. So we pay a lot of attention to measuring. Then once you measure, you don't close your eyes, you exploit continuous improvement. The data tells us, and so we go for what we call data-driven decision making. So that's how we bring everything together to deliver the sustained operational excellence.
Thank you so much. When you hear a speaking, commercial. You want engineering now to the essence of now making money. Thank you so much for that. For you mentioned you touch on the people, touch on the operational excellence. That was the first point. That's key. I'll come back to you again. I have a follow-up question. I want to touch everybody's brain on my first round of questions. I'll go to Tosin. You said quite a lot of things whilst delivering your sponsorship remarks, but you've realized that speakers as well the application of AI, machine learning, ESG. I want you to, in the next few minutes, a couple of 2 to 5 minutes, tell us how do we adapt to all of this to achieve a very resilient industry that we call the energy sector now.
Panelists and here, question digital that an old compared to social media, we're like that, but in reality, of that was a lot of that decades amassed a lot of data. I'm talking about subsurface data, of course, seismic, 2D, 3D, well logs, pressure data. A lot of it is actually still waiting to be updated. This is where AI. We all know. I think when the IOCs, several, one of the goals was to whenever gas, they go to the side looking for. And a lot of that data that was received, even way back in the 60s, 70s, actually coming to bear now, as we have a lot of current IOCs and a lot of the indigenous players now coming in and trying to monetize that. So, of course, very valuable. And it has been helping, as well as digital technologies, in decision support. So engineering machine can do a lot of the repetitive tasks. Do reservoir maintenance, anticipate well challenges, optimize your thoughts, and I believe third too, operational efficiency, where you can actually have predictive maintenance and actually fix it. All this excitement to temper it with some reality, which is the fact that does not replace AI. Will
I was going to ask you that should we be afraid of AI taking our job? So I'm happy touching it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, AI is not going to have a good understanding of the reservoir or reservoir physics, right? So my people will say, make calm down, right? Because as good as AI is, it's really as good. It's only so good in the hands of the right people. We still need engineers, just to be able to amass the power of AI, the tool to drive the best. Because the whole idea about even a colleague here from Writers, past life was a modeler, and I'm sure to tell you, it's just a tool out of it. Because otherwise, it's not going to be the operator that acquires the most AI or the most technology. So we find that expensive rather quickly. Just being able to use that to make good decisions. So I mean, for example, to my point, so what do operators do? I would suggest that they, pick one challenge at a time. If you're trying to optimize your drilling, or if you're trying to reduce your compressor downtime, focus on use AI, try and prove the concept later, and move to something else.
Thank you so much. Please clap for him. Powerful delivery. Putting AI in the right hands is better than just playing with it. Otherwise, like you said, garbage in, garbage out. We still need our first principle, first engineering principle, and thank you so much for touching on that. Coming from where you sit, I'll move straight away to the group CEO of Chief representing my brother, Dr. Bula. I hope he's doing well, though. In a waiting room, we're discussing how I see you as comparing yourself with Exxon, Chevron, but you are independent companies doing massive job here in Nigeria. Similar questions asked already, but took it in a bit to address capacity, all right? How build capacity from acquisition to production from the wellhead. So what changes for the energy security when it's not operator as you are? I believe in collaboration, but when you can do it, we should be allowed to do it as well. So how do you control the change from the wellhead through processing and especially evacuation from the unknown areas?
Thank you, moderator, and my co-panelists, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning once again. I'm delighted to here join the eminent panelists to discuss about resilient energy for today and future. And that we are not actually as a started in 1973, along with the other IOC who started earlier anyway. So there was a Nigerian notion, but it's the acquisition of the old OML 24, OML 55, 56, and 57. That is it's no coincidence that we're talking about energy today for panel and new cross companies. Is time rising resilience, safety, excellence, and sustainability. Not about resilience, it's important to read the new company will know that there was a time we had airport capacity cut out by pipelines. Assets. So for us in two areas, there's one asset is 55, 56, and 57, and the land asset, which is joint partnership and ownership with AEL for Ogarefe over the gas plant, which is a 200 million SCOF gas plant, and the Amukpe Escravos pipeline. I concur with all what the panelists have said about operations, but one major thing I have to add that an ocean group companies have is we are an indigenous producer that is in total control from integrated facility from where to the market. Basically, to the operating with it. We that left and have contract with people, with other entities. Of course, everybody does their best, but at the end of the day, we lose value. Pipelines are vandalized or when they are unable to produce. So in this case, we are in total control of our OML 147 brings our crude and our gas into our body, which we have our total facilities. We use the same and take it to and from Kugo to Escravos. We are never stranded as we had been in time. That is for the land asset. For the swamp assets, when we had the pipeline failure to a point where we were only getting 3%, 100% of crude into a pipeline, and only 3% at the end. We had to sit down and devise a batching solution. It's not the pipeline revenue and value for us. So we designed pipeline batching solution 100% of our crude we take to the market. And it becomes so efficient that our joint venture partners have asked other independent producers in our area. Instead of having badging systems everywhere, we are now the badging contractor, if we want to call it like that, for all the assets around. So they give us to take it to the terminal for them. So this is the kind of things, as we speak today, our Ovade or Garefe gas plant is a 200 million scope. We have practically maxed it out. Today's production figure is 174 million scope of gas per day. Wow. So we have maxed out that gas plant. Not only that, we do not leave any value behind. It was first a 130 million scope supplying only gas for power. But by 2022, we completed an expansion program that took it to 200. And from that 200, we are able to extract LPG for the Nigerian market. We are able to extract propane for the industries and still get some level of condensate that we all sell out for value to Nigerians. So these are all the things that we have been doing to ensure that we are never stranded, we are able to generate value for our stakeholders and do the best for Nigeria.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You know, you are indeed not a startup. Forgive me. You are a champion. I mean, to have a whole chief as your CEO, indeed, and he knows his stuff, right? Picking from you, talk about partnership. But one thing that makes me excited is the fact that you take full control of the entire value chain. And I come to realize that companies that do that maximize revenue than outsourcing it. I remember having a continuous 2 or 3 years engagement with NGML. So I understand what you're talking about. You put in 10 scarf and you get 4 at the end. They says it's evacuated, or it becomes a line pack issue. You know, so I understand you very well, and I think that's a very good thing to have, having taken good control. I'm going to the last on the list. So another here is 3 made from anywhere together. So the panel is full of friends. Let me say that we've seen what you're doing across Nigeria. I personally know Swaglog very well. I happen to work with them as well back in Ghana. But looking at your background as a renowned engineer, how do you, in your role as a company, or add on to the mission of Nigeria now, 2 million barrels per day? How are you supporting it with technology? How are you supporting it with resilience support, and also digital technologies?
Very much, Doctor. Good to see you. And thanks also to the distinguished panelists, the leadership of SPE and the SPE president. Also, I would like to respectfully acknowledge, I'm sure he might not remember, but I'm sure he can cite my face, Mr. Ebetimo. I worked with FHN for a while, and thank you for all the labor you've done in the industry, and I'm a fruit of some of these seeds you've sown. First of all, it seems like the mic they gave me is the heaviest because I think I need to be resilient, and so I'm lifting weights, so I have to really be resilient, but I think it's everyone. But first of all, I would just like to say that the evolving landscape of the energy industry is just a reflection of how competitive the world has become. We are living in a competitive world. Technology, AI, and enhancing productive living in general as human beings is something that has come to stay. We are in the intelligence age. we must also realize when people say that data is the new oil, yes, but both are working hand in hand. And if we talk about things like the cloud, for example, they need data centers. Those data centers are powered by gas turbines. Those data centers need cooling and maintenance systems that are still from petrochemicals or the gas to liquid products. So we have seen that the evolving of the intelligence age and the productivity in the global stage is closely linked to how energy is also evolving. And anyone who is not resilient in that energy space cannot be competitive. It is from what we have seen. As a petroleum engineer, it's good to hear, you know, Mr. about what you have a multidisciplinary team of reservoir engineers, to arrive at this. The challenge we have is how do we do what to make by contextual manner. Our capital make or right, an integrated way of and view data from collaboration platform. It's two sources of good data that you have, and this is what is going to drive, I believe, asset ability and generally everyone's talked about asset reliability and the basic importance now of predictive maintenance. The calendar is study shows that caused by their unplanned and unplanned downtime. So we are going to probably average obviously 40, 50 million a year for this unplanned downtime. So if we're going to eventually move into a resilient phase, there must be an adoption and prioritization of data solutions that improve visibility, increase predictive maintenance, and reduce downtimes. And most of our maintenance strategies just ignore
those key things. Coming back to you very, very quickly, the first set of you, the first three set of speakers. I've got only one question, so please keep your questions coming. If not, I have so many questions to ask on your behalf, so don't worry. But I'll be happy to get it very interactive, right on time. So please keep your questions coming. Address it to the person you want him to answer. No essays, just your questions. All right. All right. 5 minutes. You are a wicked man. All right. So I'm coming back to you. Engineer, for a follow-up. It is clear, and I'm happy I didn't ask you this follow-up question, but allowing everybody to talk before coming to you, Engineer Wole. You yourself, you mentioned it in a lighter note that we cannot do without AI. Now that it's settled, how is PETAN engaging its members in adaptation to AI, not to control what we do, but to support what we do? You spoke about collaboration. I think I've mentioned to you many times that then that's when SPE comes in. Are you taking a look at having external collaborators to support your members drive AI systems and IoTs? Engineer Wole, this is a follow-up question, so 1 minute.
Yeah, thank you very much. In PETAN, we have a program that we call PETAN Seal of Quality. That program, we designed it to ensure that each PETAN member is operating at the best level you can imagine if you're a service company. Those of us that are familiar with the United States, there is an organization called Better Business Bureau. What they actually do is that they're technicians, engineers, they work all over the place in industry and in private homes. And if any of the engineers or technician works in your house and there is a mistake, they will correct it. They ensure themselves and make sure that when you call their member, they will deliver that service to the point. So in Petan, we created the same model whereby a Petan member, we self-evaluate ourselves. We actually issue a certificate, and we do it with Bureau Veritas. We brought in Bureau Veritas deliberately to make sure that we are not awarding ourselves certificates on our own. We brought in an international, certification company to make sure that we do that. So what we do is, first, we want our members to operate at the best standard in the world. Many of them, they're deploying SAPs, they're deploying all kinds of tools. Many better member companies have their own in-house, software and program to make sure that they can keep all their data, and those data, they can use it to improve their efficiency. So that program has been running in Petan for probably 8 years. And we make sure that and what we do when a member fails the Petan seal of quality, we actually list the issues that they have and hand it over to them to go back and work on it and ensure that they bring themselves to the standard that they need to be. So that's what we're doing within Petan. But I need to talk a little bit. I won't take more than 30 seconds. If you look at this the topic of this panel, which is industry leadership and operational excellence, driving efficiency and innovation in Nigeria energy sector. FE and my brother from Aradel and also Pan-Ocean Group, they mentioned the problem we have in this industry. Riverson, you said Saudi Arabia is producing at a third of what we are producing oil. What the regulators and a lot of, I'll put it, I'm always very frank, inefficient E&P companies in Nigeria does, definitely not you, not you, I work for you guys. They come and hammer the service companies and say the cost is too high for the service. But when you look at the challenges we have, if we talk about infrastructure, we all know what is going on about vandalization. Logistics, the road, there was a time 2 years ago on Port Harcourt, Warri Road, it's taking us 3 days to move equipment back and forth. That's going to increase cost. Yeah. So we have portfolio companies. I think the president made a gazette on that. We need that to be enforced. So where am I going with all of this? If we want to have efficiency, we should focus on the real problem. We have a way of, as they say, you leave the leprosy and you are curing the rash. You are not going to the root cause of the problems we have. Some of us, the equipment that we have in country here, some of our members work outside Nigeria. We're earning more than money, taking my equipment to Angola to work. A land rig in Nigeria is about $30,000. We're just planning one in Angola. They're paying us $40,000. We're doing a tender in India for land rig, $60,000 per day. And we're hiring it here in Nigeria at $30,000. So the problem is not the services. When you beat down the service companies, they will manage. They will not maintain their equipment properly. They will not, invest as they need to, and you complicate that problem that we have in terms of efficiency. But definitely, I'm very grateful to companies like Seplat, Aradel, Pan-Ocean, which we have done a lot of work for, Chevron, and Renaissance. Renaissance, we had a meeting in Port Harcourt, and that's the last thing I would say. They changed their slogan now. They copied Chevron. I said, no, the service companies are partners now. We are no more service companies today. We are partners in the game. So these are the things, the real problem that we have, that I think the leadership should focus on to help us become more efficient. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Wole. I have a couple of questions here. I'll come to you, Ifyong. The question here is that, the person is congratulating you, that is fine. So having successfully led ANOH Gas and now steering Seplat at a time when gas is expected to drive Nigeria's energy transition, how do you see Seplat balancing three priorities simultaneously? That is one, delivering shareholder value, accelerating domestic gas commercialization for power in industry, which we all understand is very important, and building indigenous technical capacity and capabilities through local content and technology transfer. And then there's a question for you on AI. With AI expected to transform everything from reservoir management to predictive maintenance, which capabilities should energy professionals develop today to remain relevant and lead resilient organizations tomorrow? I'll start with you.
Prof, it was like 3 questions. Can you repeat that again?
No, he says, having led wherever you've been, we know it. Yeah. How do you see Seplat balancing 3 priorities simultaneously? That is delivering shareholder value, because they're going to be on you for money, and accelerating domestic gas commercialization for power in industry, and building indigenous technical capability through local content and technology transfer.
Thank you. I think it's clear now. I think on shareholder value, I don't know about other independents in Nigeria that are not listed, but I'm proud to say Seplat will lead the way. If you look at since inception, how much we've returned back to shareholders, it's massive, right? You have the numbers. If you bought our shares 10 years ago, I'm sure you know today we're about £6, right? And then over 11,000 naira.
Wow.
We've given back probably close to $1 billion back in dividends. So when it comes to shareholder value, I'm not trying to be, we're humble and not to be proud, but we have done extremely well in terms of total shareholder return. I think we're really, really top quartile. If you look at share appreciation, dividend payment to all our investors, this year we declared about 12 cents in Q2 results, and then I just don't want to be
the gas
too proud.
commercialization.
There's still lots.
Okay, gas commercialization.
But the point you raise about shareholder is quite critical, because if you look at the challenge today, is how do you deliver value today, still keep your investors happy, at the same time plan for long term? It can be a bit of a conflicting challenge. When we talk to investors in London, sometimes they're a bit worried that if you're giving back so much value back to your shareholders, how do you invest for the long term? But we're balancing that with a capital allocation smartly. On gas, no doubt, again, another area we have distinguished ourselves in terms of driving domestic gas. I wouldn't say much other than to say we're very strong in terms of even doing a lot more on gas. The shallow water business we just acquired has got about 12 TCF of gas. We're going to unlock and accelerate monetization of that gas more than we've ever done. So for now, whether it's Imo State, Ano, or whether it's Oben in Edo State, or Sapele in Delta State, I think we're really trailblazing domestic gas. And it's not just about just lean gas. We're also bringing lots of LPG into the domestic market to try and displace biomass, firewood. Helps with carbon intensity issue. The third question was on local content. Wale just talked about it. Well, Nigerian company, even though we're listed in London and Lagos, at the exhibition stand yesterday, you saw all our people. I think the guy who led the pitching said we're 99.something% Nigeria. So we're local, and we're very proud to be enabling and empowering lots of Nigerian service providers. But the only thing is, it's not a right. You got to compete. You got to deliver top quartile performance, technically, commercially, and then you'll be a delight for us at Seplat. I hope that helps.
Yeah, it does. Ladi, your question.
For me?
Yeah.
Okay, please.
Yes.
Could you just repeat that question?
Oh, it's lost in the system. Like, what capacities should we build as energy experts to match the trend of AI? Allow me to read a question for Tosin as well. The success shared on the panel are commendable. However, how can you connect this success to sustainability? That's ESG. That's for you. Yes.
All right. I think one of the panelists has already said it. Energy professionals, you need to have the basic understanding of the industry no matter what. AI is an optimization layer. It doesn't, absolve you of the critical foundational concepts of engineering that is required. And whatever decisions you are making using AI has to still be influenced by your engineering knowledge. So you just have an advantage because you are bringing an optimization layer. So if you have programming skills and all that, that just helps you to, bring an optimization layer to your company that adds value quickly for your company. Thanks.
All right, thank you.
Okay,
briefly.
rather quickly, yeah. ESG, it's always an interesting topic that continues to gather more steam. And you can look at ESG as something that is a competitive objective with profitability, in which case it becomes a compliance exercise with checkboxes.
Yeah, compliance.
But on the other hand, you can look at it as maybe it goes hand in hand. I'll give two quick examples. You can see gas flaring as something, or gas flaring mandate or reduction as that in your oil and reduces your profit. Or you can see opportunity in that and see how you can monetize some of that. I think I heard on the first day, Effie mentioned that Seplat is producing maybe 30% of Nigeria's gas, and I'm sure they're smiling to the bank with that. And so things like that. So there are opportunities, good governance, because ESG has a G part to it. You can think establishing good governance creates bureaucracy or delay in decision making. On the other hand, you can look at it as an opportunity that actually lowers investor risk, because then that drives investor confidence and can actually bring in more capital. Then you need to be profitable.
Great.
So I'll leave it at that.
Thank you. I'm not going to ask final round questions, but I have questions for Aradel and Pan-Ocean New Cross groups. So as a follow-up, just to beat time, not asking round of questions. So how is Pan-Ocean and New Cross able to bring down bargain cost? And do they encounter theft?
All right. Thank you. First, there has not been any theft over the last 3.5 years. That's the first thing. The second thing is, of course, when you start something, it's usually difficult because it takes time to, we've talked about infrastructure. It takes time to build. It also takes time now to even gather the ships and everything that is required. So how are we able? First, we started with the production that we have, and then we, on our own, in the last 2.5 years, have grown our production by over 70%, which is more than 20,000 barrels of oil on top of decline. We've also, as I said, have other assets in the area now bidding with us. So what we have is a scale where if production gets to X amount, the price per dollar per barrel will be this. If it increases to by 10,000 or 5,000, as the case may be, the cost per barrel will be this, and that's how we are operating. So the more we are able to get in totality, the less the cost per barrel will be. And that also translates to the people who are giving us crude to lift for them.
Thank you, Chief. That's a very powerful answer. Thank you. Let's last for him. So coming to you, Aradel, Chief. This question is for Aradel. Is Aradel expanding refineries into gasoline production? What is the prospect of that initiative, and how do you intend to synchronize it with the integrated facility you have? Very briefly.
Okay, the answer is yes. Okay. So we are deepening our presence in the downstream, and so we're planning to bring in gasoline. I'll say watch this space. You'll see the announcements in time. How does that work? Because like I mentioned, we have an integrated facility. Our upstream is connected to our refinery, and so we produce from upstream and deliver the crude to the refinery, and through that we're able to meet the demand for our customers in the refinery. And just to mention, there's a collaboration aspect where I'm happy to mention that Pan-Ocean, in terms of barging our crude to the terminal, we work together on that. We take services from them. So it's an ecosystem where we work together and collaborate. And by that, we ensure we achieve resilience that we need to survive.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Please, let's give it to him. That's a very sharp answer. So time will not permit him to go around again. I'm very happy with the follow-up question that came. At least everybody got a question to answer. But to wrap up, if you're not taking anything home, you're taking home that the energy industry is very resilient, and we are ready to wait. I mean, ready to adapt to whatever changes that come. Very dynamic. And dynamic leaders seated here share their perspective, their ideas, what they are doing, what the challenges are. And I believe that the upstream regulator is here. I chanced peradventure on an article written by my own Professor Wumi. And most of it were mentioned today here. I mean, having regulatory efficiency and stability will drive the finances. And I'm very happy that we didn't focus on that, because once we drive engineering and operations, the finance will surely come. Because one of the points that he also put was fiscal competency and then also maximizing economic rent. Once we're able to, as a country or as a continent, maximize how much revenue we make ourselves by developing local expertise, the investment will come indeed. And one of the biggest things that he also mentioned today we have discussed is the digital transformation. You know, today HRs are recruiting using AI without any fiscal interference. Your CV will tell you whether you're good or bad without any nepotism or reprendalism, as he will put it. And then also looking at immigration. It's only depending on the passport you have that you're going to encounter immigration, ask you what are you going to do in this country. In US, and you're an American with a passport, you go through an AI system. They scan your face, they know you. But if you're with a green passport, you have to be asked questions. What are you going to do here? So AI is here to support whatever you're going to do, making our lives easier. Let's adapt to it. It's not going to take our jobs. I'm very happy to hear that, because I need my job for the next 20 years at least before I retire. On that note, please, back to you. Let's clap for our wonderful panelists.
Thank you, ARD. I want to make a special appeal, because there's 2 awards we're going to give after we present their plaques to them. Therefore, when they get their plaques and do the family, I will kindly request that you allow them take their seats. Please do not approach them for networking, so that we don't, I'm just appealing, you know, I'm your errand boy, I'm just appealing. Please allow them take their seats after they get their plaques. So just 2 awards, we'll give it and then we're done. For now, Council Chair, please join me on stage to appreciate them with our plaques. Give them another round of applause. Thank you. Let us begin by giving the plaque to Engineer Wale Ogunsanya, FNSC, Chairman of PETAN. Thank you. Please give them a round of applause. Council Chair reminds me the Chairman of PETAN said that Chevron is a good partner, treats the indigenous service providers as partners and not just service providers. So thank you, Chairman PETAN. Give him a round of applause again one more time. Thank you. Okay, now Engineer Okon, I would skip you for a second. Let's move on to Engineer Degbite Falade, as represented by the GM Commercial, Mr. Daramola Olariwaju. Please receive yours. Thank you very much. Let's move on to Tosing Famurewa, EVP CBO Rider Scott. Thank you very much for your contributions as well. And of course, the chief, that is the Chief Operating Officer, Chief Ishola, Pan-Ocean New Cross Companies. Thank you very much for your time. And Riverson's colleague in Ghana would follow after that. Ladi, CEO SNL. Thank you for your insights as well. All right, let's have for Ladi. Ladi, if you can please. Okay, they bring in, thank you very much. I bring in for Chief Olajide Ishola. Thank you. Shoyombo, thank you, CEO SNL Technology. Thank you very much. Now, following this, still hold on to Engineer Okon's plaque yet. We'll just take a family photo. Engineer Okon will still be with me on stage for one more. Please, family photo now. Family photo. Now, every other person will take their seat. Allow Engineer Okon to remain on stage for just a few more minutes, a few more seconds. It won't be long. Family photo. Can I, please, sir, you join them, one of our sponsors. I think every other sponsor is here. Chairman of, come this way. Chairman of panel session, please come this way. All right. So please, again, allow them take their seats as they leave the stage. Allow them take their seats. Please allow them to take their seat, but Engineer Okon, please remain with me. Engineer Okon, remain with me. Engineer Okon, you are remaining with me because you have been given the Energy Executive of the Year award by Spe Nigeria Council. So the Society of Petroleum Engineers Nigeria Council presents the Energy Executive of the Year award to Engineer Effiong Okon, FNSE, Chief Executive Officer of Seplat Energy PLC. The citation says, during your tenure as Managing Director of ANO Gas Processing Company, you provided executive leadership for the delivery of the ANO Gas Processing Plant, one of Nigeria's most significant recent gas infrastructure projects. In January of 2026, the 300 million standard cubic feet per day facility achieved first oil and commenced commercial gas deliveries, marking a major milestone in Nigeria's decade of gas initiative. Delivered with an industry-leading safety record and designed to eliminate routine flaring, the project has strengthened domestic gas supply while advancing energy security and industrial development for exemplary leadership in delivering nationally significant energy infrastructure and advancing Nigeria's gas value chain. We at SPE proudly honor you, Engineer Effiong Okon, FNSC, with the Energy Executive of the Year. Congratulations. Yes, Council Chair, please present that to him. Council Chair, please present that to him. Engineer Effie, you will also take one more award for us, this time to your board chairman, and this time the society is giving it to the board chairman. The society is giving it to the board chairman of Seplat as an energy investment. The award is Energy Investment and Enterprise Leadership Award, presented. Yeah, if you want to clap, clap, yes, yes. Presented to Mr. Tony Elumelu, CFR, Chairman of Hess Holdings. Through his vision and leadership, Hess Holdings has emerged as one of Africa's leading indigenous investors in the energy sector, supporting transformational investments that have expanded Nigerian ownership of strategic petroleum assets and strengthening domestic production capacity. So a huge congratulations to Chairman of Seplat, Mr. Tony Elumelu. Incoming chairman, I beg your pardon. Incoming chairman. Yes, 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 yes. Incoming chairman. Incoming chairman. Chairman Hess Holdings and incoming chairman, yes, of Seplat. Thank you very much. Dikpo. All right. So we thank you. And then you've given him for the panel too. All right. Thank you, sir. Please take your seat. Can we then present our plaque to our keynote speaker? Oh, he's here now. Thank you very much. Please let's welcome the representative of Madam Eyeson, CCR. Engineer Madison, please, sir, if you can quickly join us on stage to receive the award. Thank you very much. And then Vice Council Chair will take the vote of thanks after this. We will be going on a VIP exhibition tour, a brief tour of the exhibition with our exhibition team. And then lunch will be served. You all know where lunch is served. Lunch has started already, as a matter of fact. Lunch will terminate at 2 p.m. If you go to lunch after 2 p.m., you would not find lunch. We'll be back. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. We'll be back here at 1:30 for the career fair. Let's welcome Engineer Tagbo. We didn't give ARD. How's that? Council Chair, please come back. Council Chair, please come back. Somebody should have reminded me. ARD, where is he? No, this is not deliberate. But you know it's not deliberate. I should give you. ARD, please come, please come. Please come, please come, please come. Please give me a round of applause. Give me a round of applause. Thank you very much. Thank you, ARD.
They wanted to make sure that, like Effiong Okon, he has to wait behind to take it in.
Good man. Thank you. Thank you, ARD. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. And there I was thinking I called ARD. My apologies, ARD. Thank you very much, ARD. Thank you. Thank you. My apologies again. My apologies. Engineer Tagbo, please come forward for the vote of thanks. Engineer Agbo, please. Vice Council Chair.
Yeah, so time really well spent. Again, SP has delivered another masterclass. We promised a panel session, and we delivered another masterclass. Thanks to all the sponsors for today. ESO, Riders Code, NMD PRA, Switch Log. I just want to say that thank you to all the delegates for sitting here to listen to these wonderful deliberations. Put your hands together for yourselves. Lunch is served, but before lunch, a special group of people are going to follow the council chair for a quick exhibition tour. I promise you it's going to be short, less than 30 minutes, and then we'll go for the VIP tour. Thank you very much. Council chair, please, I invite you to take all the VIPs to the exhibition tour. There's a bus waiting outside, so we should take advantage of it and all join to the exhibition tour. Thank you very much, and see you here by 1:30 for the career fair. Thank you.
All right, 1:30, we're back here. Bon appetit as you have lunch and enjoy the tour of the exhibition.